This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Hey, I'm Alex, and this is the Ramble, and we go until midnight tonight from the East Coast of the United States. I hate your chapeau, Stephen Kravitz.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I hate your chapeau.
Why is that?
Because it's too cool.
Well, I'm a cool cat.
And because I wear hats and I don't have one.
Well, they have a haberdashery, I'm sure, in New York City.
Well, wait a minute. Take it off a second. I never noticed this before, but I should. You have a full head of hair. Now, how can you,
Yes.
as a good Jew, how can you do that?
My brother has a full head of hair also.
Really? Son of a bitch. You know, most Jewish guys go bald.
Right, they get that, first they get the yarmulke
Though
with that spot in the back.
I think that's why the yarmulke was invented.
That could be.
Yeah, it was invented to take care of that, you know.
Right.
Cover it up. They say it's because you should not have your head exposed to God.
Something like that.
Yeah, so you put a yarmulke on, and that doesn't expose you to God, but the real reason was some guy started going bald back in, like, the 2nd century and said, let's start wearing yarmulkes.
Well, let's put a hat on.
I wonder why they call them yarmulkes. We never,
I have no idea.
as Jews, we never question these things.
I'm sure in Hebrew it means like little hat or beanie or something like that.
Yeah, beanie from God. That's what it means. You know what? I as a Jew, I used to have business cards at Live 105 that they made up for me. I didn't ask them to do it; they just did it. It says Alex Bennett, and then under it, Bad Jew. I still have them here.
I bet you do.
Bad Jew, and as a bad Jew, I don't understand everything. You know.
Who does? Nobody does.
Well, I didn't know this. Did you know this about being Jewish? You can get an abortion.
I didn't know that.
Not you, but some woman who's Jewish can get an abortion. Because in the Jewish religion, the child is not an individual until it's born. Up until then, it is part of its mother's body. Okay?
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, and therefore she can do anything with it she pleases. And abortion has been legal in Israel since Israel was formed.
Is that right?
For that reason. So what the Supreme Court did the other day was anti-Jew.
It was anti-woman, I'll tell you that.
Well, it was anti-woman, but it's also anti-Jew. I mean, they made this, and Jews should have an exception to it. It's a religious exception. You know, so all
Well,
you
going to take that to the Supreme Court?
No, I'm just going to go out and get a lot of Jewish women pregnant. And
Oh, okay, yeah. You and me both.
you know, well, the Supreme Court never thought about the legal implications of the religious aspects of abortion.
Supreme Court didn't consider a lot of things. They're out of touch.
Well, I figure, did you ever see The Omen?
No.
Oh, the Damien did become president, and he did. If Damien in the Omen were to have created a Supreme Court, this would be the Supreme Court of Damien's choice.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, I mean, they are using their own personal feelings about stuff to make decisions, and that's not right.
Right, next thing they're going to go after same-sex marriage and contraceptives, and it's just absurd. It's just ridiculous.
I don't know if they're going to, but a lot of the states feel that this will allow them to do that. And why in the world? What do they have against contraception? I mean, do they want a gigantic, huge population like in India where everybody's climbing over everybody else?
Right.
I don't think.
Well, they're not pro-life. They're pro-child. They're pro-birth. They're not really pro-child. They're pro-birth.
They're pro-birth. Yeah. And somebody was saying, and it's true, that according to them, life begins at conception,
Right.
and death starts when you're facing an AR-15. I mean, it's just ridiculous.
Yeah. Meanwhile, the Supreme Court made it illegal to carry sidearms.
In New York, yeah, isn't this wonderful? It's terrific.
Yeah, that's all you need is everybody on the subway armed.
Yeah, in New York, we really need that kind of law.
Right.
For 109 years, we have had a law in New York City called the Sullivan Law. Made it illegal to carry a firearm anywhere in New York City. You get up to a year in jail, no questions asked. Okay, you go before a judge. The judge said they proved that you had a firearm on you, and he says 1 year in jail.
Right, just like that. No questions asked.
That's right. And it's been that way forever. Now, a lot of people don't abide by it, but if they're found with it, we can throw them in jail, and that they did away with that. So
the Supreme Court is way out of touch.
Well, the ones that were appointed by Trump have been.
Right.
I'm not saying that I have anything against a conservative on the court. I have something against a conservative who foists their personal beliefs on us through their determinations of what's right and what's wrong. They just didn't like Roe versus Wade. They didn't believe that abortion should be legal. And this is the first time I think the Supreme Court has ever taken a right away from people. It's the first time.
Is that right?
Yeah. I mean, this is a right that was given. It's been in effect for 50 years, and now they're taking it back.
Right.
Now, I don't know if it's a right that they can once again install,
right.
Given a different court and given another case. But, I mean, geez almighty,
They screwed up. They fucked up.
A woman, you shouldn't be able to tell a woman what she should do with her body.
That's right.
I know because I've tried. So,
Well, have you?
Yes,
For example?
Oh, have sex with me. That's a good example. Oh, boy. So I'm out of it. You didn't hear what happened to me.
What happened?
Marjorie and I got COVID.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
When was that?
What?
When was that?
That was shortly after I spoke to you. Well, let's see here. That was about, I guess it was over a week ago, about a week and a half ago.
Okay.
Shortly after I talked with you the last time, which nobody ever heard because somehow I didn't have audio on you.
So it's just a me mouthing words.
Yeah. So, and I was thinking of getting somebody who was a lip reader to come in
and translate.
and then because my side of the conversation was recorded.
Oh, is that right?
Yeah, but it was a problem with a setting in Zoom.
Didn't you put in new software too?
No, I put in a new computer.
Oh, okay.
And when you do that, even though you've taken all the stuff from your other computer and you've put it onto this computer and it loads up and everything's the same way it was, there are some things that kind of get switched on and off.
Right.
And in the case of Zoom, you got to go back and reset all those things. And I didn't find out till that night when I was doing the show, and they said, "Gee, we can't even we can't hear ourselves. We're not on the show. Our voices."
Oh, really?
Yeah. So it was a matter of the output. Forget it. It's too much to,
Yeah.
So I felt very bad about that because you and I, we do two of these. We spend 50 minutes with each other,
Right.
talking and enjoying each other's company. But nevertheless, to have that come to nothing because I can't use it just really
Infuriates you.
It made me feel bad. That's why I wrote you about it.
Right.
I had to confess to it.
Right. The subject line was "I fucked up."
Was that the subject line?
Yes.
Yeah. Well, anyway, I've been fucking up a lot lately because I'm out of it. But anyway.
Hey, has Larry been on lately?
Yeah. Yeah.
Did he finally get rid of his flip phone?
Oh yeah, no, he. You're gonna love this. Our friend Larry Brown just doesn't like technology. All right, and so he's held onto this flip phone forever.
Right.
Right. And he loves his little flip phone, even though in order to send a text, he has to, like an A, a B, a C, you have to click 3 times on the first number.
Right.
You know, that
Right.
kind of
Right.
thing,
Right.
right. So they wrote him a letter and they said, "We're doing away with the phone you've got. It won't be able to pick up the signal of the Wi-Fi."
Yeah, my cousin had to get rid of her flip phone. She had to get an iPhone.
Yeah. Well, they offered him an iPhone. So he went down to Larry Stahl. You know Larry Stahl?
No.
A guy who used to hang out with us and stuff. And he went in the back room, and he got one that worked. It was a flip phone. So Larry took that rather than the iPhone they were going to give him for nothing. Yeah, I know. Nod your head a lot. And
That's ridiculous.
I told him, "You moron." I said, to this day, when I do an interview with Larry, and I love doing an interview with Larry, so I accommodate it, but I have to run a picture of Larry on the screen while I'm talking.
Right. You just do audio.
I just do audio. And, I'd really like to, with you, be able to see him. It's no big deal, as you know.
Right. I mean, if I can do it, anybody can do it.
Now, there is a problem with him doing it on his computer because... Oh God, this is just it's useless because he doesn't have what do you call it?
A camera?
No, the internet line that isn't. He has dial-up.
He still has dial-up?
He has dial-up.
I didn't think that existed anymore.
I think it's that he's afraid of ruining his image. Right? And so my idea, I bet if we went over, like you and I got together, got on a plane, went to San Francisco, went over to Larry's place, knocked on the door, because nobody's ever seen his place.
No, nobody has.
Right, but we knock on the door, and he opens it up. I bet inside he's got every electronic gizmo known to mankind. But he doesn't want to admit it.
Right.
So.
He's a smart guy. He could do it.
It's I don't know, it's something in his DNA that will not allow him to do it, and I don't know that I disagree with him entirely. I mean, I think this whole internet business is useless.
Right. Yeah. I mean, everything you have to do online now.
Yeah. Well, everything you do, you have to do. You know what's worse? I'll tell you. Today, I was trying to get a hold of FiOS, which is my carrier.
Okay.
It seems that up until now, I've had what they call the Stars app and the Epix app. These are 2 streaming services and 2 services you also get on your cable system. I on those apps, I was able to watch everything. Well, now it comes up. It says Verizon up in the corner, so I know it's connecting with Verizon. But then with certain videos and stuff, except the main ones, it says, "Sorry, you can't do this unless you subscribe to us." Well, I do subscribe to them. Okay?
Well, then you should be able to get it.
Yeah, I have gotten it up until now. So today I decided go to FiOS. Now, the only way you can get to them directly without going through a whole process of trying to figure out how to get to them is you have to what's the word? Where was I? See, I'm really loopy today. You have to go to. I went to them on chat, okay, because the chat was the only thing available.
Right.
And they never answer you quickly, like, "Hi, how are you?" "Oh, I'm fine." "Okay, yeah, here. Oh, here's my problem." "Oh, well, you can't do that. You can't do this, whatever." So they're telling me now that my traditional subscription, which isn't traditional, I have the ultimate thing where I get everything, okay,
Right.
Is not available. You can't get that on Roku. And I went, you're wrong. I could do it until 2 days ago.
Right.
You know, and the same thing is true of stars. And I go, what is this all about? I'm on the line forever with him, and he's constantly, oh, sorry, got disconnected again. Your Fios, you're a big technology company, you're Verizon, and you are constantly getting disconnected? What's wrong with your service?
Right, no kidding, huh?
Yeah.
And you pay through the nose for it.
Yep. This was like Marjorie the other day. She was supposed to pick up her Apple phone, her iPhone, her iWatch, her watch, because it needed a new battery. And they sent her a thing, come pick it up, but if you can't pick it up in 5 days, call this number. Well, she had COVID. So she called the number, and nobody answered. So then,
well, Facebook, they have no customer service.
wait a minute. Then she calls Apple. And Apple says, well, let us try and get that number for you.
Right.
They can't get a hold of this Apple store. Then they call their what was it called? The repair service in Houston, Texas. And Houston, Texas tried to call them and couldn't get them on the line. And I'm going, what if Apple wants to call them and say, hey, there's a bomb in your store, get the hell out of there, and they can't do it? I mean, ridiculous. But anyway, this person kept telling me that, oh, well, with the service you've got, you can't use your Roku, blah, blah, blah. And I'm going, and they give me a thing that I can go and subscribe to Epics online. I'm going, I haven't had that up until now. I've had all that until now. What's with you? What's your problem?
Right.
You know? And I was on the phone, I was on the computer for like an hour with this deal. And then I decided to tell them, give me your phone number I can call. So they give me a phone number I can call, and it says, well, you can't call this phone number. You got to do our app on your phone, my Fios app, and then you got to make an appointment for us to call you.
Right.
What is wrong with this picture? You know? Whatever happened to the customer is always right.
Oh, that went years ago. What are you, crazy?
And I mean, I'm now after I'm through with you, I've got a number where they can call me, and I want to find out. I mean, I don't get an answer to any of this.
Right.
Only except, well, no, you've never been able to use Roku to be able to. Yes, you have, you moron. And I'm probably talking to some guy in I don't know, Azerbaijan, you know, who keeps getting disconnected because he really doesn't have Fios. But anyway, I mean, it's this kind of service I can't stand anymore. It's driving me nuts.
Right. That's like I was hacked twice on Facebook, and I tried to call Facebook, and they have a number that you can call, but nobody answers.
What?
They have a number you can call, but nobody
They
answers.
must have the same crew working for them that works on the West Side Apple store.
Yeah, no kidding, right?
Yeah, I mean, what? They have a number, but you call it, and nobody answers.
Right. And it says they're not gonna do anything on this number.
Yeah. If they do answer, you go, is this Apple? And they go, oh, I'm sorry, he's not here right now.
Right.
Or Facebook. I mean, why is that? I don't understand. It makes no goddamn sense to me. You know?
Because the customer doesn't matter anymore. It used to be the customer's always right. Now the customer doesn't matter.
I've got to do everything for my Fios service, my Verizon service, online.
Right.
If I say I'm having a problem, they will check my units here, right? And then they'll say, well, we're going to fix that problem. And I did this once, and it fixed it. The machine fixed it.
Right.
But this is not the case here. This is a case of something isn't working. There's probably something in their system that isn't telling Stars or Epics that I subscribe to them.
Right. Somehow you got lost in the paperwork.
The logo comes up when I activate, but somehow it's not recognizing that I have a full subscription to them.
And you're paying out for it.
Oh yeah. Well, the thing I'm thinking of doing, and the reason I haven't done it is because it is a lot of work. But I'm thinking of pulling the plug, getting rid of the cable company,
And doing what?
going online, because with like my favorite is what do you call it? Hulu. Hulu has a service in which you get, for $75 a month, you get every channel you want, including local
Right.
channels and so on. You get all the and I don't even really need all those, but we do need the local channels. Marjorie likes to watch MSNBC, and so it's on one app, and then you just use that to access stuff. And then they also give you in that same package Disney Plus, Hulu, and ESPN Plus, which
Right.
I'm already paying
But
for.
you still have the cable company to get the Wi-Fi service.
Well, I have to pay for the Wi-Fi service. The kind of service I now have will cost me about $100 a month. But all told, I will be saving about $100 a month if I start.
Oh, is that right?
If I start subscribing to all these things individually, a lot of them I'm already subscribing to.
Right.
And I might not do Stars or Epics. I don't care about them really that much.
Right.
But I mean, what I came out with was the same price that it was $25 cheaper than I'm now paying for me to pay for every one of the services I now have.
Oh, really?
Yeah, like HBO Max and whatever. Okay.
Right.
I added all those together. They came out to $251. My service every month is $275, $76. And that's
Wow.
before I pay for Netflix and all those other things which I've included in that original price. So I wind up saving about $100 a month.
Can't beat that.
And since I'm not getting a real service here, and since my internet usually always works, that's the one thing I never have problems with.
Right.
Once in a great while it goes down. I've seen it go down. I come back to my computer in the morning and see that it went down during the middle of the night. But what do I need? What do I need the full cervix for? Cervix, yeah. That's what.
Freudian slip there, huh?
That's what I said. Yeah. And what do I need the full cervix for? Well, because it gives you great pleasure. But anyway, so am I being sexist here? Is there something that's improper that I'm doing?
I wouldn't know. I don't know what the boundaries are anymore.
Yeah. Why don't you be the comic that goes up and breaks every boundary?
There you go.
And just see how much you can get the people to boo you. See if somebody can jump on stage and try and pounce on you.
Oh, I don't want that.
Well,
That's all I need is somebody jumping on stage and punching me.
Yeah. Well, I mean, today you can probably get somebody to jump on stage and punch you anyway just for something that you said. There may
Right.
be a joke you
Some
have.
innocuous too.
Well, there may be a joke you have in your act that you have no idea is improper that somebody
Right.
will take umbrage at.
Right.
Oh, that's you can't say that. That's sexist. What? Well, you said he instead of he, her. Or something like that. I mean, it must not be fun to be a comic these days. You got to sit there and the only guy I know who could do his act anywhere and not have any trouble is Larry Bubbles Brown.
Well, his stuff is borderline sexist.
Well, yes, you're right. I didn't stop to think about that. But he had a lot of jokes, about women.
Oh yeah, a lot of jokes.
Yeah. At his own expense in many cases.
In most cases.
In most cases. But anyway, so that, I mean, it's not the world we signed up for, guy,
No, it isn't.
It's not the one we were born into. You were born in what year?
56.
56. Because I was born in 39.
Right.
So my frame of reference is a little different than yours.
Right.
I grew up in a time when they said it was, it was a sweeter, nicer time. And I got to tell you, and I'll tell you next time we talk, but it wasn't a sweeter, nicer time. This country has always been full of shit.
Oh, isn't that the truth?
Yeah. I mean, even when we came back from World War II really full of ourselves,
Oh yeah.
and we felt we could save the world. Yeah, but we can get into that next time. Listen, it's as usual. It's always good talking to you.
Always good talking to you, Alex.
And this time the audio did get recorded, so
Oh, good.
I won't have to write you and say I'm sorry. Well, maybe I'll just have to say I'm sorry for having done this in the first place. But ladies and gentlemen, his name is Stephen Kravitz. Goodbye, Stephen.
Goodbye, Alex. Goodbye, people.
This is GabNet, the Great American Broadcast Network, now in its 7th year. Talk like you've never heard it before.
Oh, gee. Oh, wow. That was low in the beginning. Okay. Anyway, hello, everybody. How are you? It's Alex, and there's nobody waiting to come on the show, so I think maybe I just won't do one tonight. I mean, I have been feeling a little weak lately, and this would give me a perfect opportunity to not feel weak. But I'll wait a few minutes to see if anybody decides to call. Boy, usually by this time there are a couple of people waiting to talk. When I did a show only one day last week after having the whole COVID thing, we had tons of people calling, and people who hadn't called in a long time, and it was, and now I'm back again, and here we go. I'm looking here, and nobody is calling. How do you explain that one? But I was saying to Stephen about having to deal today with Fios, with Verizon, and trying to get somebody to talk to me. I finally got somebody to talk to me, but I had to go through all kinds of hell to get somebody to talk to me. And when I finally did, I got somebody very competent, but you couldn't find out exactly how to get somebody to call you. They say, go to our app, and then we will call you. And then you go through all this stuff, and it just, they do everything they can to make you not want to talk to them, because they don't want to talk to you. And that's the way most businesses are now. It used to be that you had a very easy time calling Amazon, for instance, if you had a problem. And now, my only suggestion to you is go to Google anytime you want something like this and say you want to talk to Amazon, okay? And so what you do is you go to a thing that says Amazon, and you on Google you go phone Amazon, and they'll come up with a phone number for Amazon or phone Verizon. But that didn't work that well for Verizon. But here's somebody who I'm paying $275 a month to for the lousy, rotten cable service, and I can't even get somebody to talk to me. I mean, I would think for that kind of money they would find somebody to talk to me, but you can't get anybody to talk to you. So what I was trying to do is, what happened was I subscribe to all the, I have the ultimate package, all right? I get everything. I get Showtime, I get HBO, I get the things you would get on cable. I get, what do you call it, Epics, I get Stars, I've got a whole bunch of things like that. And I decided that it was, be a good idea to just, then what I do is I go online. I'm thinking about other stuff while I'm thinking about other stuff. I go online, and I can go to, for instance, Roku will allow me to use their app for Stars and Stars and Epics. But now when I go to them, they say, well, yeah, it says it has a little Verizon at the top, like I signed in as a Verizon customer, and they say, yeah, but you can't watch this because you don't have a subscription. And I have a subscription. I'm paying extra for that subscription. They're getting this money every month out of me. So now I'm trying to get a hold of the people at the cable company to take care of this, because it says call your cable company, and because you have the account with them, and they'll sort this out for you. Just try. It took me 3 hours to get not even resolution, just somebody was decent enough to say, we'll put this we'll put it in a what do they call it? We'll write up a work ticket on it. Oh boy! So I mean, I have no idea what it is. It's not my fault. It's probably not even their fault. It's probably the fault of Stars and Epics. But what can I say? Anyway, we have a couple of people here that are ready to talk to us, so that's not bad. It could be worse. It's we have let's see here. We have Jeff and we have Brian Neary here. Two of my favorite people. What could be better than this? Nobody else calls?
I know. I get to talk all night now. Oh, sorry, and Jeff.
Yeah.
I'm painting a box.
Can you, wait a minute, hold on a second. Can you turn your mic down just a little bit? Is that possible?
Mine?
Yeah.
Yes.
Go into your Zoom, I think, and go into the things, the preferences, and then I think you can get it to go down a little bit, because you're really booming.
Oh my God, it's all the way up.
Yeah, it's booming.
How's that? Is that better?
Oh yeah, that's much better. Much
better.
Oh,
whoops! I put my. Okay.
Okay, good. That's fine. Anyway, what were you saying? Hi, John. What were you saying?
Oh, I was just saying. I found a nice size dance box. It's a box, cardboard box, like perfect size. It's like a 8 by 10 or 12 or something like that. So paper will fit in there and stuff like that. So I was trying to find a dance box for Adrian so she can paint it, and then she can put all her dance stuff. Whenever she goes, she has the programs with her name in it. Start saving all that stuff now.
Yeah.
And I'm outside with her painting this, knowing it'll take me about 10 minutes. I'll come up on the show. And then you started saying that nobody's on the show, so I had to wrap it up pretty quick with her.
Well, I would rather you would spend quality time with the daughter,
No, we finished it. We did one coat on it, so we'll finish it tomorrow.
But anyway, there's a guy here by the name of Mike Rosowski who wants to get in. Do any of you know who he is? Has he ever called the show before? Shall we give it a try here?
Yeah, let's give it a try.
Let's give it a try and see who this person is. Let's see. It says joining. There's Mike Wasowski. It shows up as Mike Wasowski, and he's connecting to the audio, but he's not connected to the audio. Mike, are you connected to the audio? Mike, are you there? Oh, okay, we just lost Mike. Well, that's what you get for putting your name out there. So anyway. I sent you a note last night, and I just I feel such warmth for you and Adrian. Don't you, Jeff? Don't you feel that way?
Absolutely. She's terrific.
But not just that she's terrific, but he's terrific with her.
Yes.
And I really appreciate that, because I never had any kids. Maybe I should have. I probably would have been a good dad, but.
I knew you were going to say that, and I thought about that after you sent that message. And you always talked that it would have been very hard for you to have a career if you had kids when you were younger. And I think you touched so many lives on the radio that, I know for me, it's all we listened to back then, and a lot of joy listening to you and laughter and stuff like that. So
yeah,
it's very hard when you have a kid. Everything changes, and then. Yeah, so
I think Adrian's really lucky to have you as a father. You take really good care of her.
You know what's good about him being a father? How old were you when you first became a father?
48.
48.
Wow.
Not a bad time, because you got the rest of your life out of the way. You sowed all your wild oats. There was finally time for you to bring somebody else into your life.
Yeah. I agree. Yeah. And I know so many of my friends that their kids are moved out in college and all stuff, and but they weren't with them that much. And a lot of friends with broken families and stuff. And I knew at this age I'm good. I've done all my stuff like you said, and it's great to spoil her with things that I didn't have, and I spoil the other kids the same way. So.
Yeah. So, but I mean, I just think it's a wonderful thing that you had it at that age, and I think you probably are maybe a much better father for it.
Oh, 100%.
Than if you were younger, and
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, I just never had kids because when I was finally ready to have kids, I couldn't find anybody I trusted to have a kid with. There's a certain trust you have to have having a kid with somebody, because you have to make sure that person's the kind of person that's going to stick around. She's not suddenly going to decide one day, divorce is easy, let's go get a divorce, right? And then all of a sudden the kid gets pulled into the middle of that, and I didn't have anybody I trusted. I
remember.
Yeah. I mentioned once Kathleen. You remember Kathleen used to call the show. One time she came to me and she thought she was pregnant because she hadn't had her period for about a month or something like that. And she came to me and said, "I think I'm pregnant." And I went, "Okay," because I trusted her. I thought she was a decent enough person, that if even if I don't marry her, even if we don't have a life together, I know that I could be in that child's life with her. And that's and so I had that kind of trust with her. So I almost became a father, and then she had her period, and it was all over with, But and then I never met anybody else after that I really wanted to have a kid with,
And Tiffany had two, so I know, right when Adrian was born, I mean, I'm just like along for the ride because I know she knows what to do, and I trusted her with all that stuff. So it's
well, all you have to do for a wife is, I know this from having pets, is you just put a little bunch of cloth down in her bed, like blankets in her bed, and she can then suckle the children there.
Yeah, it's pretty funny when people say, "Oh, I have a dog."
Yeah.
They're just like kids. I said, no. Jeff knows that. Yes.
Well, I mean, being a father, I mean, I watch you with her. There are times I know you wish you would just go away for a few minutes.
Yeah. So to be honest with you, 14 and 16, the teenage years are very, very tough. And it's funny because I've had a lot of issues lately with them. And my friend, our family friend, has his is 14. And I went over to his house the other night last week just to clear my head and talk to him about stuff that's going on here. And he's going through the exact same thing, especially now these days. His son is up in the room, on the computer all day and doing this. And, it's so the teenage years are very, very tough. And the bad thing is, since I didn't have my mom or dad when I was 13 and on, I was like by myself at my house.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know how that was, so I can't say, I remember when I was your age and with my dad and all that stuff, because I never had that. So it's a lot harder for me to try to relate to them. So family, so friends really help too, and they find out that they're in the same situations too. So
yeah. Well, I mean, it's not easy for you, especially because those aren't your kids by birth. Okay,
right.
You're not the biological father of those children, but out of respect to your wife, you've taken on the responsibility, and I'm sure you like them, and you enjoy raising them as well. But you picked them up at an age that's not a lot of fun.
Yeah. Yeah, they were 5 and 7 when we started, and it goes really deep. But with my with my past and how I thought, I could have been a lot better if I had more rules and more things in place, more structure, and I had nothing. And I still got a good job and education and everything. But so that's how I start putting more rules in place, thinking, well, I could have done better if I had rules. And then sometimes you have to back off and let them go and just see what happens.
But trying to impose rules on the two kids that aren't yours by birth, is much more difficult than putting rules on Adrian.
Yeah,
who
exactly.
You have every right to yell at and say, don't do that, or hey, good for you, you know. I mean, but you have to be a little more careful, don't you, on how you handle the other two kids?
Yeah, because then sometimes mommy gets defensive thinking that, that I'm picking on them, but, I'm not. So they're at different ages compared to Adrian, too.
Have they ever said
Adrian
something to you like, you can't say that to me, you're not my father?
Never.
Never. Good.
Speak of the devil.
Oh, look.
Say hi.
What did she bring you? What?
I said, see hi, and she says, poop. Poop.
Poop?
Yeah, this is the other age.
Well, poop is, that's a poopsicle, isn't it? It's a, oh, well, there
Hey, yo! Excuse me. Close my door. Close my door.
Oh, yeah, she doesn't close.
But then, she wants me to go in the hot tub later and all this stuff, so. I'll close my door.
I kind of feel... I kind of feel like we're helping you raise her, you know?
Yeah, because then she'll say something like poop, when I'm yelling at her and something. It's just like, oh my God. So.
Yeah. But it's much easier with her than with the other two kids, I would imagine,
Yeah, and it's, they're really like Tiffany, where they study in school and stuff, but they don't have much like outdoor interest. So Adrian has outdoor interests like 100 miles an hour. So for me, it's really easy, take her out. We're going out to the hot tub. The other kids, no, they don't want to do that. It's like, so it's hard for me because I'm trying to show as much love as I can to the older two. But then with Adrian, it's just so natural because she wants to do everything I want to do, so it's a big struggle.
You'll start to know you're kind of losing her in a way when she says to your dad, don't leave me off in the front of the school. Leave me off a block away.
Oh, no. Yeah, the other two, especially with the McLaren, they don't like that. Adrian loves it.
They don't like it with the McLaren?
No, but Adrian loves it. So when I get in trouble for driving the McLaren so much, I say, babe, I asked Adrian, what car do you want to take? And she always wants to take that, so got to take it.
Is it a fun car for kids?
Yeah, Adrian loves it. Yeah.
You can probably drive it. It's so tight in there, right?
Yeah.
Excuse me, I had to blow my nose.
Ray knows. Ray, how many kids do you have? And how old are they?
Mine?
No, Ray, you're on mute.
Ray,
you're on mute.
We can't hear you.
And Jeff, how many kids do you have?
I have 3 kids.
And they're gone, right?
Yeah. Well, no, one of them is 30 years old.
John Larkin, you don't have any kids, do you? No. Yeah.
All
Not
my
for
friends.
choice. I would have liked to have had kids, but just about every person I would have wanted to have kids with didn't want to have kids with me, and ones that did want to have kids with me, I didn't want to have kids.
Didn't want to have kids with them. Yeah.
Yeah. No.
Well, you see, when I was 19, I had a girlfriend who was 17, and she got pregnant, and she was the first girl I ever had sex with. Okay, what a way to start out your sex life, huh? And she had the kid and gave it up for adoption, which really bothered me because I really would have liked to have had the opportunity to adopt a child, but in those days, you couldn't. They wouldn't let you, So I went. That really informed a lot of my attitudes about having kids and having kids by a woman I could trust and so on and so forth. And so I was very reluctant. I was very careful with contraception after that. I would always ask a woman, are you using contraception? And if she didn't, I'd slap on a rubber, I mean, I did everything I could to make sure I didn't have another kid by somebody I didn't want to have a kid by. And I did that for so long that one day I wound up being about 45 and saying, gee, I really should have had kids, And then I started looking for somebody to have a kid with. I think I even talked about it on the air. I don't know if any of you remember that.
Yeah.
And then it kind of got to be the contest of who wants to be the mother of Alex Bennett's child, But I knew I couldn't trust.
Rosemary's Baby?
What?
Was that Rosemary's Baby?
No.
But is my sound working now?
Yeah, your sound's working now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I have 2 kids, 19 and 25.
19 and 25.
Two boys.
Yeah. You don't have to worry about them anymore, right?
Well, they live at home. They both yeah, they're all right. They're doing good.
They live at home?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
19 and 25.
Well, I mean, they got, one has Asperger's and the other one has something called Klinefelter syndrome.
Well, wait a minute. Let's take one at a time.
Right.
Asperger's. What is Asperger's exactly? And don't give me some kind of joke about it's turds that come out and you make and put them on a bun. Okay. What is Asperger's?
It's high functioning autism.
High functioning autism. So they're autistic, but not on a level that makes life difficult for them.
Well, it does make things still difficult, like usually on the emotional scale or social ability to socialize. A lot of anxiety, often. People they don't often understand social cues and stuff like that, or if they do, it's super hard work for them to.
So how does that play itself out?
Him? He's super smart with computers. He just really he's a programmer and gaming expert and IS expert.
How are his social skills?
Not good. He doesn't
not good
go anywhere.
Well, then he'll probably be really good at computers.
Yeah, I mean, he doesn't
really because most of the people I knew who were good at computers had no social skills at all. They just sat there all day, drinking Mountain Dew and coding.
Yeah, well, he eats really healthy, so that's good.
Yeah.
Are you gonna make a fortune?
Yeah.
And the other one just has he has something called Klinefelter syndrome, which is an extra.
Where do they come up with these things? When I was a kid, you were either
Klinefelter's is it's just, you have, instead of being XY, you're XXY. You have two X chromosomes.
Okay, but how does that manifest itself in his day-to-day life?
Well, he has to take testosterone shots every 3 weeks.
Really?
Yeah, you're usually infertile. You have some learning disabilities usually.
He's got the body of a male.
Yeah.
But he's got female hormones or no male hormones.
He has one extra female.
Okay. Right. All right.
Somebody that I know had a kid with that, but it's very rare.
Yeah, it's like 1 out of 700 live male births. So that's like 1 out of 1,400 live kids.
God, I thought it was a lot more rare.
So you say you have
that is rare, actually, when you think about it, because if you add it up, that means there's probably only, like, in the whole city of Palo Alto, there might be 1 or 2 boys with it.
Did I hear you say that you had 3 children?
No, just 2.
Oh, 2. Okay. Who said they had 3 children?
Yeah.
I do.
Jeff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I also have, now I've got 4 teenagers, grandkids.
The grandkids. Oh wow.
And they're all teenagers.
But they're
all
probably
teenage
nice.
girls.
They must be nice with you and then bad with the parents.
I have a business manager, Gary, who he's 84 right now. But he said, I really knew I was getting old when I became a great grandfather for the second time.
Oh my God.
When your grandkids show up, Jeff, they remember you by how much money you give them, right?
Yeah.
The great thing I've been told, and this is probably something you can look forward to, Brian, is the great thing about being a grandfather is that you can see those kids, you can dote on them, you can go all the thrill of them growing up, but you get to go home without them.
Yes.
You know? And some people say being a grandfather is better than being a father.
Oh, yeah.
It's
so easy.
Yeah. Plus, they then bring you presents.
That's right.
You know, so it's wonderful. But I guess it was just
Oh, that's okay. I said something that I probably shouldn't have said anyway. That wasn't nice to somebody else. Not anybody here.
No.
Never mind.
But
You're allowed to do that once a day.
Yeah, what I was going to say is that I don't know that you know, like I never had any kids. Marjorie never had any kids either. That's the similarity we have. You know, so it's not like I married her and I had to put up with a couple of kids that she had. Oh, I have to put up with her doofus brother, but outside of that, you know, but I have no siblings. You know,
Is Margie also Jewish?
what?
Is Margie also Jewish?
Marjorie.
Is
Marjorie.
Marjorie also Jewish?
Yes, Marjorie is also Jewish.
That's how they met.
Oh, I don't know. I don't know how that.
Well, we met on J-Date, but not everybody on J-Date is a Jew.
Oh, really?
No.
Oh, really?
No, they're just, some of them are just women looking for, you know, doctors,
I guess
lawyers,
so.
you know.
It's just
But that's
depends on how much money you're willing to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah. J-Date cost me like $9.95 a month, but for you, $8.95. You know.
my grandfather. He had a big Italian family, and then my mom was the only child, and then I was an only child. I have stepbrothers, stepsisters from my father, but for my mom, I was the only child. So when my mom passed away when I was 13, and they got divorced when I was 3, I didn't really see my other father. Then she got remarried just before she passed away, but then he left with all his girlfriends. So I like on my side, because they've passed, my stepfather's passed away now, and my biological father's passed away. I have like no family. So, you know, the wedding day, you know, when you see like, you know, Tiffany's side and there's like 500 people, you come by, and the groom's side, there's like me and you know, one of my stepbrothers, and that's about it.
Well, she's from where originally? She's from
Vietnam.
Vietnam. Yeah.
Yeah.
Was
She was born there?
Was she born during the war?
Oh yeah. And Simon was born there too, the 16-year-old.
Was she born during the war or after the war?
After the war.
Oh, good.
Yeah, way after.
When I was in my junior year of high school, she was born.
I mean, is she in age? Is she close to you?
17-year difference.
This is your wife?
Oh,
Yeah.
you're such a bad person.
I know. Jesus Christ.
God, I used to be given a bad time for going out with women younger than me. You
But
know,
I never think about age. I never have. I don't know.
you know.
So
Yeah.
with her, with anybody else, I've never thought about age.
Well, I'd like to think that age doesn't matter. You know, and given your age and given her age, it's not a big difference in that she's done a lot of maturing. You know.
Yes, exactly.
Whereas
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend where, you know, I was 23 years older than her.
Oh, I remember her.
Yeah, so do I.
She made you miserable.
Well, yes, she did. But, you know.
She was cute, though.
Oh, she was adorable. She was just
Yeah.
adorable. And I genuinely was crazy about her. You know what I liked about her? I'll tell you this. She was. I started going out with her when she was 18. In fact, I took her out to her prom. But that was just a stunt because she happened to be a member of the studio audience, and then she wrote me and she said, "Oh, my boyfriend had to leave town before the prom, and I have nobody to take me to the prom." So I'm thinking, you know, let's do a publicity stunt. So I said, "I'll take you." And I got the station to Spring for a limo and dinner on Nob Hill, I think at the and then we went down to the Palace Hotel where the thing was taking place, and so I took her to her prom. But that wasn't when we had a relationship going. But I guess about a half a year later, the relationship started, and she had turned 18. So I figured all clear. You know, the warning sign wasn't flashing anymore, and I started going out with her. And the thing I liked about her was, yes, she was young, but she knew about old stuff, you know. And so when it wasn't like I had to spend all my life teaching her stuff, you know. Like I always had a joke in those days that I wouldn't date anybody who couldn't name all 4 of the Beatles, you know. And she could name all 4 of the Beatles without even a hesitation. So there was an ability to relate that way. And I was the same way when I was a kid. You know, I knew what went on before I was born. Because I was fascinated by, hey, what was it like before I was here? You know, so.
And like you said, yeah, she's very mature for her age because she had 2 kids and she was the only mom, single mom. So, so that made it a lot better. So.
Yeah, yeah. And how long have you been married now?
Well, we're not officially married.
Oh,
We've been
you're
together
not?
for
You're
almost
not
10 years. Remember? Yeah. So almost 10 years.
Why?
We still say husband and wife. So.
Okay, well, why aren't you officially married? I mean, not that you, not in this day and age, you have to be. It's not are you reluctant, or is she reluctant, or is it you just don't care?
So I'm not reluctant, but no, there's just these days there's a lot of financial stuff that that she gets because she's a single mom.
Mm-hmm.
So leave it at that.
Leave it at that. Okay.
Yeah. So.
Do you foresee yourselves ever getting married eventually, or?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, she has everything in mind. Every time I get this and that, it's like, she's the beneficiary for everything. I have no family, so it's like.
Well, I mean, it's kind of interesting because I mean, if something happens to you, is she taken care of?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes.
Because
yeah.
But I mean, the only reason to get married is for, I guess, Adrian. But does she ever?
And that is one thing that we said when it was early, was that we said, I want to wait till Adrian can remember it. So then it's been now. She's 6 years old. She can remember it. So
does she ever ask about it?
It comes up sometimes. Oh, Adrian?
Yeah.
Yeah, sometimes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even Stephanie, even when she was younger, Stephanie used to bring it up all the time. So.
Yeah. Yeah, because I mean, it's obvious that you have a successful relationship.
Yeah, it's rocky, but
name
rocky.
Name one that isn't.
And I'd be worried.
Tuesdays.
I mean, I'm making a living out of getting $10 every time Marjorie tells me to go fuck myself. And so it's like, no relationships are easy.
Yeah.
But it seems good. You seem happy, and then you got that darling child, amazing child.
Yeah.
What else is going on in the world?
Brian, in France, I'll just bring this up because I'm connected there. 70% of couples have kids before they get married.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yep.
Really?
Yeah, because it's actually financially advantageous to not get married in France.
See.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Well, I mean, look, being married is not a necessity, but a relationship is a necessity, and a relationship to each other is a necessity.
Eating all that.
What were you going to
escargot.
say, Alan? You said something?
I was just going to say, is there anything else in the news?
Well, it's the same old stuff,
Yeah, I mean, you've been talking about Brian and Adrian, and she's very good, and he's a great father, but it's been a half hour now.
Hey, listen,
We've got,
believe it or not, in the last half hour, we've had more people listening to this than usually listen to this program.
Wow, that's great.
Yeah. So apparently,
that's great.
Apparently,
let's continue to talk about Brian and Adrian.
Well, no, I think we can move on to other stuff. Is there anything you wanted to bring up?
No, the Supreme Court. Some of their things that are going on today. They are allowing companies to continue to pollute at higher rates, like Trump wanted, and lowered the protections of the EPA.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I know. I couldn't believe that.
Yeah, it's kind of like Damien grew up and appointed the Supreme Court. Okay,
yeah, exactly.
I mean, this is the Supreme Court from hell.
It is.
I mean, kids today, Adrian and his other kids and stuff are going to have to grow up in a world with these idiots and these idiot laws and stuff.
Well, they may have just enhanced global warming, is what they've done.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah, they did. They care more about the corporations, the fuel companies, than they do about the environment.
Yeah. Yes, John had his hand up.
Yeah, they got to pack the court What do they have to do to pack the court?
They
You know,
have to add another justice.
They need a
They
super
could add
majority.
four. They could add four more, but what do they have to do that?
Super majority in Congress, in the Senate.
Really?
Not going to get it.
No, I don't think so.
No?
No, I think he can. I think he can just do it.
I think he can,
No, Phil's the one that he's going to do it.
if they do away with the filibuster, then he can do it, because then the Republicans can't filibuster it.
But guess who was pro filibuster when he
Who?
was in the Senate? Joe
Who?
Biden.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
He is. He's
You know who was
But that's when they had to actually filibuster.
Well, that's when they used to have Mr. Smith goes to Washington and they had to get him and give a speech and give it for the 24 hours.
Yeah. So they
Does the
keel over.
Never
Constitution
shut
say
up.
how many the maximum are for Supreme Court justices?
There's no constitutional limit on that. He could have 200.
So if a Republican comes back in, they could put another 10 in there.
yeah,
Have
that's
to
true.
build a new
They
building.
It's kind of a catch-22. You know?
I just think that maybe we have to put the Supreme Court on notice and think about trying to impeach a couple of them, you know, because they did lie to Congress. I mean, that's a crime. That's a crime.
Yep.
Yeah. They were under oath.
Yeah. Now maybe it won't go through because the Senate has to vote on it and so on and so forth, but that shouldn't stop us.
No, I agree.
And because these people feel that, oh, hey, I can do this now. I've always been anti-abortion. Now I can do something about it.
How long has it been since we impeached a Supreme Court justice?
Never.
No, I think they did, like in the early 1800s, because he was a drunk or something.
Yeah.
He
All
could never stay
politicians
sober.
are drunk.
Yeah.
No, but this guy could never stay sober.
Yeah. I mean,
bad.
I hate to think about it that way, but the fact is, these people lied to get their job, and they lied under oath. Okay, they lied under oath, and that should be enough to say, okay, guy, you're in trouble.
You're talking about Amy Coney Barrett and the other, and what's
Yeah,
his
when
name?
they all said that, we're not going to change Roe versus Wade because that's settled law and it's precedent and so
Total
on.
lie.
President, blah 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 bullshit.
I didn't believe him when they said it.
It's not a question of not believing them. They're under oath. They should be telling the truth.
Right.
But then the minute they
changed their mind.
That's what
no,
they can say.
no,
if they change
but they
their mind.
didn't wait 10 minutes to change their mind. It was like their mind was made up ahead of time. Okay? And Trump knew exactly what he was doing.
Mm.
I mean, here's another part about it that kind of gets me is that Donald Trump couldn't give a shit about abortion.
That's true.
Right.
Okay?
He's probably caused 10 of them.
Yes, absolutely. But I
And
don't think
pays
he
the
cares
money.
about it, but he wanted to care about it because this was a guy that got up every morning and said, how can I make people's lives miserable? I really think
Fuck
so.
up the world.
He
Huh?
just wanted the power. He just wanted the power. I mean, if Democrats were stupid enough to have elected him, he would have been a Democrat. But he realized
Yep.
they're not going to elect me, so I got to go with the Republicans.
Yeah.
I think that he was used to snapping his fingers and people did things. And when he got in office, he snapped his fingers and then he ran into the Congress. Because the first 2 years, he had total control. And they couldn't get the wall built. They couldn't do a lot of things. Congress, even the Republicans, wouldn't go his way.
Yeah.
Well, the thing is that he, while he was in office, I'm glad Phil isn't here because then he would filibuster. But let's be honest, Trump didn't do anything while he was in office. He didn't accomplish anything.
Just a big tax cut for the fucking corporations and the fat cats.
Yeah, but
That's
nothing. He didn't really accomplish much of anything.
nothing
But
at all.
then again, neither is Biden.
No?
What?
Biden gave a lot of
No,
tax.
Biden's
benefits
got a
for a lot of people.
real problem. You know what you should do, by the way, John? I'm thinking, you
What?
should get a tissue and clean the lens on your camera because you are fuzzy unless you
I
feel.
think it's the light. It's the light in my apartment.
Let's see here. Wait a minute. That
If you
kind.
keep the cloth over the
Well-
camera, you look a lot better.
Now they it's
Now you
streaked
get
a little
something
bit.
worse.
It's a little
Yes.
clear. It's clear.
Yes, it looks clear.
You see, it's
That's
that light up there.
It's the
Yeah.
light above him.
Yeah.
It looks like you're God.
I know.
Yeah. Now you see that's much
Yeah,
cleaner.
turn it off.
I know we had remember when we had to have Tony clean his lens and
Tony.
all of a sudden
Yeah, I remember.
we could see Tony.
Yeah.
You know.
And then we wanted
Your
to
lens.
plug it back up.
But now I got that fucking light that goes on off on a timer.
Why don't you buy a clapper? You know?
Yeah, well, that is a clapper.
Oh,
It's
it
a-
is? Oh,
that
okay.
Clapper thing.
Wow.
Yeah,
why I'm
but
going
all
like
I'm
this.
saying is that you know, I mean, this is a guy who in the case of Biden, we got a problem with a guy who's done nothing. He is just totally one of the most ineffective presidents you could possibly think of having. And
He's not gonna run
I know that it's better than Trump, but Trump at least got a few things accomplished. I mean,
Biden
as
will
I've
not run
as I've
again.
said, it is not Biden's fault that we have higher prices, and it's not Biden's fault that we are
In a recession.
in a recession. It's not Biden's fault that gas prices have gone up. It's none of those are his fault. But where I do fault him, he's done nothing to correct them.
That's right.
You know,
Yeah.
and,
Yep.
and he seems like he is at his wit's end as to how to solve these problems.
You know, the other day the teleprompter stopped and he had to walk out of a meeting, and he probably won't run again.
No, they're saying he's already working on plans for another run. But don't do us any big favors, Joe, because then Trump will win again.
Yeah.
I saw AOC on on what's his name?
Colbert.
show,
Colbert, yeah.
yeah, she's pretty fucking sharp, man.
Oh yeah.
Oh, I thought you were going to say she's pretty fucking hot, which is
She
true.
is hot too. That too.
You know, I don't want to say that because that would be terribly improper of me, but I'd do her. You know, I mean,
You know,
Well,
I'd do
it's-
Marjorie Taylor Greene if you could put a ball gag in her mouth.
Yeah. She's got a horse face. I wouldn't touch that.
I heard she likes
no,
ball
I
games.
have to say, I said to Marjorie the other day as I was
Good one,
looking
Rick.
at OAC, she was on, I think, Meet the Press. I said, you just can't get away from the fact that she's drop dead gorgeous.
Yeah.
You know? That she's really a very, very attractive woman.
If she ran for president and got elected, she would definitely be the hottest president in the history of presidents.
Yeah,
Well,
well,
the New Zealand woman's gorgeous too.
the New
Yeah.
Zealand. Oh, yeah, I've seen her. Yes, she is. She's
really hot.
quite attractive.
Yeah, yeah.
By the way, we've been joined by Jack Bishop, who has decided to grace us with his presence as soon as he connects his audio. There we go. You got your Zoom stuff down.
Well, got something down. I don't know about that. I want to point out something. You know, we were talking. You guys were talking about Biden hasn't done anything. I'd like to remind you of what Dwight Eisenhower once said about being president. Do you remember that?
What did he say?
He was
No.
2 years old.
What day is it?
No. He said at the end of his first term, he said, sometimes the president is just there. We forget that even back then, the president couldn't get shit done if Congress didn't give him people to work with.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, you can use that as an excuse, Jack, but presidents are also, very good at being cheerleaders.
Yes.
And it's a very important part of their job. I think that Obama was a terrific cheerleader. I thought that when he gave a speech, God damn it, you wanted to go out and buy his soap,
But conversely, people who wrote in the 1870s, 80s, and 90s about Lincoln said Lincoln was a terrible speech giver, great writer, but couldn't deliver a speech for having a paper.
Well,
bag
we
over
don't
his-
know because we never have heard a recording.
Never heard it.
Recordings did
They
not
just-
exist.
They did describe his voice, and it sounded like it was pretty.
It was high pitched.
high pitched, kind of annoying.
They said it was
And
somewhat
He's having
effeminate.
problems delivering speeches.
And
Yeah.
you forget that you're living in the most media conscious age ever.
That we've ever
Well,
been.
That's right. So maybe we ought to just elect actors.
No, media
We
toxic.
tried that.
Media toxic, Jack.
Media toxic. I'll give you that word, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we've got probably going to have a guy running down here in Texas for the governorship who is a Hollywood star.
Beto O'Rourke.
No,
No? Who?
McConaughey.
He's going to run?
Matthew McConaughey. Yeah.
He's probably going to run.
When? Not this year.
Let's see. I think he's going to run for the Texas governor's office.
But that happens this year in 2022.
That happens in 2022. And don't think for a minute, if he's going to do that, don't think he hasn't got his eye on the presidency after that, if he wins.
Do we want people who are actors?
Reagan.
Reagan I thought was a terrible president.
Schwarzenegger.
Schwarzenegger was he tried to be a good governor, he just didn't know how to.
Well, Schwarzenegger could never be president because he's not a native born.
Here's the most perfect. Who's the most perfect person to run for president?
Right now?
Gavin Newsom.
No. Well, there's a hint to who should run and who make the best presidents.
Guy from
Governors.
California.
Governors.
Yeah.
Not senators. Not senators. Senators are used to bargaining and making laws and passing bills and doing stuff like that.
Yeah.
Governors do everything a president does on a smaller scale. And so that's kind of the training ground for a president. And look at the presidents we've had who have made their mark. I mean, Clinton certainly made his mark. He certainly was a very popular president. Reagan, on the other hand, yeah, he was a governor. Well, forget that. I just blew my whole theory.
Yeah, except for Reagan. Although California is like the 6th or 7th largest economy in the world, so it's almost like running the country.
How do you think Gavin Newsom? You guys out in California, you and Brian and Ray are out of California, and John Larkin. God, I got a California show today. How do you think Gavin Newsom would do against Donald Trump?
They'd kill him.
You think?
Yeah, I think
You're
he'd
great.
go.
I know Newsom was considering running a while back, and they did some study, and they realized he couldn't win, so he didn't enter the
How
race.
do they know? Who knew that Donald Trump could win?
Yeah, how's Trump going to
He's
run
telling
when he's
you.
in prison?
I heard that he just formed a committee a couple weeks ago.
Who?
Gavin Newsom
Yeah,
to
he's just trying to make
Yeah,
money.
it's another.
Just another
He did it
money.
8 years ago too.
And,
He'll be raising money when he's in jail.
Except for Gavin Newsom's pretty powerful right now because he beat recall, and he's going to probably get voted back in.
those people who try to get him on the recall, they don't want equal rights for gays and all those things. So he's not going to get their vote anyway because he was so pro, helping out all civil rights and everything else. So he's not going to get that vote anyway. So fuck him. Right?
I think he has an advantage. Okay, and the advantage is the rest of the country isn't that aware of Gavin Newsom. So when he suddenly appears and starts giving speeches and is a good-looking guy and he's Hollywood material, he could very well do good as soon as he presents himself to the rest of the country. However, nobody in California will vote for him, but I mean the rest of the country.
If you took the LA area, San Diego area, Bay Area, and Sacramento area out of the state of California, you'd be a red state. Because there's a lot of Republicans in outlying areas.
That's true.
Huh?
Yeah.
That is very true.
It is.
Even in the Bay Area, there's Republican enclaves that are super.
You go up to Redding, man. They've got Proud Boys running the whole city council up there.
Yes.
It's
But
red.
I think that Gavin Newsom would probably do okay because the rest of the country doesn't know who he is, and they'll discover him. You know?
Yeah.
This is going to sound ridiculous, but he needs to get the nodes operated on it in his throat, because you hear how he sounds.
I haven't heard him that much lately. But
Oh,
is it that?
his voice is just trashed. He needs to get it fixed.
Yeah. But
not gonna go
he's
well.
you know, he's definitely a choice. But
Yeah.
they say that Biden is making moves and trying to get the money to run again. And I'm going, you know, Biden, if you cared
party
about your
back?
if you cared about your party, you wouldn't run again.
Too
Right.
old.
Well, it isn't even a matter of too old.
I mean, just his he's mentally too old. That's
Yeah.
what
I think
Yes.
he's mentally too old. Yes. But
because
he's not,
Trump is old too, but even though Trump's not that smart, he seems to be more on the ball.
Jack, would you vote for Gavin Newsom?
Well, as a matter of fact, I would. But my sister worked for Gavin Newsom in one of his nonprofit corporations, and she had nothing but good things to say about him. I met him one time at a cocktail party. I was impressed. And
Do you know who will vote for him? Every gay in America.
Oh, absolutely.
Every gay in America, because who came up with gay marriage?
Gavin Newsom
Gavin
when he was
Newsom.
in San Francisco. Absolutely.
Did it when it wasn't popular. And
Actually,
and
marijuana too.
but he started the notion of gay marriage, which is now,
Absolutely.
of course, the law of the land.
This week.
Gavin Newsom.
well, I'm going to put a turd in the punch bowl.
Okay, here we go.
Go for it.
Ruin our party. Go ahead.
Oprah Winfrey.
Oh, God. Oh.
She's not gonna.
No, please, no.
No.
You know, Hillary Clinton.
Oh, God.
She's got too many skeletons in the closet.
Is Oprah a billionaire?
Oh, yeah. I
Probably.
think
don't want
if
another
she isn't,
billionaire.
she's kissing it. Okay,
Yeah.
you know.
But look, she's a woman. She's a black woman. She's a celebrity.
Well, so what if she's a black woman? We've already had a black president.
He doesn't
Okay,
wanna
isn't that enough for you, Jack?
Oprah's worth
Are you ta-
2.5 billion.
Are you talking about America's first black president, Bill Clinton?
Oh well.
There we go.
Oprah's worth 2.5 billion.
Is she? No.
Yeah.
Where did she get all that money
Donna,
from?
give me a divorce. I found my next old lady.
Some websites say she's worth 3 billion. So somewhere
Donna,
between
get a
2.5 and
divorce
3.
tomorrow.
Boy, she has a lot of fuck you money, doesn't she? Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah. Something.
Well, you know, I'll tell you what. Why I wouldn't vote for Oprah, among other things. She's the one who brought us Dr. Oz.
Yeah. Emmett
Uh,
Oz.
That's
Really?
2 strikes against the bitch.
How old is Oprah?
I don't know.
She's in her 60s.
in her 60s. Yeah.
Older than that. She's in her 70s.
I think she's in her 70s.
yeah.
You know, I interviewed. It was a really interesting guy. Is Oprah's boyfriend?
Yeah.
Husband. I mean.
What's his name?
Oprah's 68.
Yeah. What's his name?
What the hell's that guy's name?
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah.
Gail, and there's the guy.
And I was impressed by him. He was a very intelligent, decent guy. I liked him a lot. I can't remember his name, but you know,
It certainly wasn't Jack Bishop.
Stedman.
Stedman.
Deadman.
Interesting guy, you know, and I have to hand it to him because they're still going together, right? I'm not mistaken.
I don't know.
They're still they're still associated with each other.
I haven't seen anything in the tabloids about them in several years, though.
But I mean, you don't see anything against them, you know, that they're not with each other.
They are together, it says here.
Where does it say that?
On a bunch of websites.
Yeah. Okay.
I just want to know how come they haven't gotten hitched.
Well, we get back to Brian here, you know, who's not married, but has a beautiful 5-year-old child now, by the woman he lives with, and we were talking about whether you need to be married these days. I mean,
I like having the piece of paper.
why?
I don't know. I just do. I think it's a public commitment.
Marjorie and I did it this way. She proposed to me on a leap day. Because on a leap day, women can ask guys to marry them. Okay? So she asked me, would you marry me? And my answer to her was, why not?
You romantic dog, you. You've
Why
always
not?
been that way.
Yeah,
You know,
you know. But
I just like the public commitment. You know,
It's not, to me, it's not a public commitment. To me, it's about religion, getting married.
yeah, but I've been publicly committed 4 times already, Jack.
Oh,
So
that is
how
right.
so much for public commitment?
Yeah.
You know. So
Yeah, I forgot that you are not just a 3-time loser.
yeah, I've been married 4
Yeah.
times.
You're
Yeah.
a 4-time offender.
Yeah, I mean this is my most successful marriage, but it's only because both of us are so old. Where else can we go? You know.
You used to say you married the first time. You used to say this on the show. I remember. You married the first time for lust.
Yeah.
The second time is for love, and the third time is companionship. But you're on 4 or 5. So I don't know. I don't know what those 2 are.
It's companionship in old age. No, I mean I have to say that our marriage is different than my marriage would have been when I was in my 20s.
But don't you think that every marriage changes every few years?
Yeah, I think that's.
Yes, I mean marriages evolve.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no question that they evolve, but I haven't gone through one that long that I can give you that answer.
Well, let's see. Have you ever totaled up how many years you've been married?
Well, I went for a long time without being married.
Well, I mean, how many years with your 4 marriages so far? have you been married?
First marriage was less than a year. Okay, so
All right.
there's one. We'll give you 1. Okay, a clap. Let's see here. Second marriage to Ronnie lasted, I don't know, even after we were no longer living with each other, I would say about 8 years.
Okay, so that's 9.
My third marriage to Susan lasted about, I'd say, 6 years, and then a couple of more years because we were not living with each other, but we hadn't filed for divorce. Okay.
So can we say 16 there? 16 years total?
Yeah, let's say that.
And you and girlfriend have been together how long now?
Well, we've been together. We've been married
Just take married.
for 11 years, I think.
Now, that means
Yeah.
the marriage that I'm currently in,
Yeah.
I have been married to one person longer than you've been married to all 4.
Me too. I've been married 28 years.
Well, I think it's time for you to get a divorce.
What? And have to start all over again at my age? You're out of your damn mind. I'll never get another one broke in. But Don and I have been together, we've been married 35 years.
Really?
Yeah. And Peggy, who, the wife that I was first married to,
Mm-hmm.
who died, we were married 5 years when she died. So, you know,
So that wasn't a long marriage. I always got the feeling that was a much longer marriage.
it was,
Yeah.
it was,
Sadly cut too short.
yeah. And I didn't get married until I was 35, 36, something like that.
Yeah.
Not a,
Well, I have a friend who had sex with a woman one night, and she dropped dead while they were having sex.
Oh,
wow.
You have a story like that too.
Yeah,
Not me.
yeah. Huh?
Hey, that happened to my favorite uncle.
That happened to your favorite uncle? Well, I'll tell you.
Yeah,
I'll tell you
yeah.
something. He said.
yeah.
I said, "Did that put you off of sex for a couple of years?" He said, "Quite a few."
oh, wow.
Can we give it to Larkin tonight? He's got the Santa Claus beard going. You guys have been trying to grow yours for a while, and look at Larkin. He's ready for Santa Claus.
Well,
this year.
Larkin is going to give Kevin a run for his money soon. He can do.
Yeah, I agree. It looks, and his face just looks perfect.
He can do Santa this year. Yes.
I know. And I got the Santa glasses too.
Yeah, right.
No, I know.
Listen, I got to get out of here. I got to show you.
Yeah, I know you got to go. Say bye.
Later,
Bye
dude.
bye to Jack Bishop. Thank you, Jack. Thanks to Jeff Stein, and thanks to Brian Neary, and thanks to John Larkin, and thanks to Alan, and thanks to Ray. Nice group tonight. Boy, this is how I
No
like
yelling
it,
and
you know?
screaming.
And it got a lot of people watching, more than we normally have. So I really like
Oakland Days got the go ahead to build a stadium. Or
Yeah, I saw that.
Who?
That looked nice.
Who got it? Who got the
Oakland Days got the
A's.
okay to build a new stadium
Oh,
on.
the Oakland what?
Hey,
Oh, A's. A's.
Athletics.
I thought you
Baseball.
said the Oakland Gays or something.
No, A's, yeah. They were gonna maybe move to Las Vegas, but the guy
Anyway.
stayed in.
Thank you, John. Thank you, John. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Brian. Thank you, John. Thank you, Alan. Thank you, Ray. Thank you, Jeff. Oh, I'm just getting too old. Anyway, everybody give a big wave goodbye, and I will give a big wave goodbye at you. Okay? There they go, folks. That's our citizen panel for tonight. There they go. Let me just hang up on them here so that I don't have to deal with them anymore. Listen, Jack Bishop is next over most of the same GabNet. He's got the intersection. He takes your calls at with Skype at GabNet Live. Skype, GabNet Live. In the meantime, I'll see you again tomorrow night. Same time, same station in life. And in the meantime, as always, if you see her, tell her I love her. Night, everybody. Yeah, see, we finally got the logo up.